Free up Ronaldo Cephas for the last game there. Yeah. Hello, my beautiful people. Jamaican youth in the building yet again. And we're talking about the Copa America game between Jamaica and Venezuela. Coming up, we're going to kind of look at a recap between Jamaica and Ecuador. And then we're going to talk about Jamaica versus Venezuela, our final game in the Copa America. Before we get into it, we'll ask you to do the usual. Hit the like button as it helps to send the video out to more eyes. And if you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button as it helps the channel to grow. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So we're watching the Copa America and we see Jamaica is out. Unfortunately, Jamaica has been eliminated from the Copa America, having lost their first two games. They lost 1-0 to Mexico and they lost 3-1 to Ecuador. And now they're on their final game against Venezuela. And I want to see them free up Ronaldo Cephas. But let's just talk about the Ecuador game a little bit. I think, there are mixed feelings out there. A lot of people believe that the coach is a little bit under par in this tournament, with his changes, with his general approach to the games that he has played. And some are calling for the coach's head. Some are saying that he needs to adjust the way how he plays the team. And some are saying that he should be, making changes earlier in the game. Now, in general, looking at the Ecuador game, I think, the first half was a disaster. I mean, like 2-0 down really quickly. I think the first goal that was scored, Jamaica kind of got wrong-footed because the ball was coming across. He thought it probably was a cross, and it turned out to end up in the back of the net, And then the second goal was a penalty, and Jamaica was down 2-0. But in general, that first half, Ecuador was just coming at Jamaica, boom, 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 just peppering us with attacks. And then we saw a contrasting style of play by Jamaica in the second half. We went for broke in the second half and went hard to try and get back a goal. We saw a goal from Mikel Antonio after some pressure added from Jamaica in the second half. And then there was a shot for a penalty. A lot of people thought it should have been a penalty, but it was not awarded. So it remained 2-1 at the time. Jamaica kept going for broke. Attack, was putting Ecuador under pressure until one of the attacks found too many of us up the pitch and left hardly anyone behind. Moises Caicedo got the break, beat Kahim Dixon, sprint down the field, and before you know it, game over. Put the ball past Jamali Waite in professional style, and the game ended in a 3-1 victory to Ecuador. So what do I have to say about Jamaica's performance in that game? I don't know why Jamaica couldn't have played the first half like how they played the second half. I've kind of said this before, but it's like, I don't know if mentally we have realized what confederation we're in, or what, how to approach playing Latin American teams. Because Latin American teams, they're possession-based, they keep possession of the ball, and they pepper you with attacks. But it seems as if when we find ourselves with our back against the wall and we need to get a goal, for some reason we are able to put passes together and to attack the Latin American teams. It doesn't matter if it's Mexico, Ecuador, or whosoever we're playing. We are able, when our backs are against the wall, to wake up and play a little bit better. I don't know why we can't approach the game from the beginning, from the start, like that. Why can't we play the game peppering them, putting them under pressure at the beginning? Is it that we're afraid that we might actually leave space behind and they might actually score? That might be the reason, but we have to change our approach to playing Latin American teams. I notice I never say CONMEBOL or CONCACAF. I'm saying Latin American teams because you even seen Damrep. They're playing some possession football too, and before you know it, they will improve, and all of a sudden they won't be as easy a team to beat anymore. So we have to realize the confederation that we're in, and we have to realize we need to play possession football, or we're going to find ourselves in the situation we have found ourselves in the last few years, where we're trying to keep pace with CONCACAF and trying to stay in the running. Instead of being a team that's kind of ahead in CONCACAF, we're going to just be trying to play keep up or catch up. We have to stay on the cutting edge. We need to start playing possession football. Possession football is what we need. Now, when it comes on to Hallgrimsson, I still think he's making some changes too late in the game. I don't know why is it that Ronaldo Cephas hasn't had more time in this Copa America. I do understand that Demarai Gray is back, and Demarai Gray has to be the starting choice, but the formation that Hallgrimsson went with against Ecuador, I think he had Casey Palmer and Damian Lowe in the midfield, and Bobby Reid and Demarai Gray on the wings. I think he actually he even squeezed Bobby Reid in the middle and play Shamar Nicholson almost as a winger as well. But it depends on how you look at it. The formation seemed to be three at the back. Then you have actually no. He played the wingers. He played the wing backs as wingers. Lembikisa and Gregory as wingers. Then he had Damian Lowe, Casey Palmer, Bobby Reid in the middle, and then Shamar Nicholson and Mikel Antonio up front. We saw that Damian Lowe got a yellow card towards the end of the first half, and he had to come off. He had to make that change because he just couldn't take the risk. But the changes are just coming too late. Like we see Karai Anderson, we see Kahim Dixon, and we see what's his name? Karai Anderson, Kahim Dixon, and Ronaldo Cephas coming on. Maybe this game, I think that he probably might even start a Wes Harding. Just have a look at him because he hasn't been in the team for a while. He has been doing well. Give him a chance because we're out of the tournament now. Jamaica is out of the Copa America. So, it doesn't. I think maybe a man like Wes Harding should get a look in. I personally also think that, Ronaldo Cephas should get a start. Bring on Demarai Gray. Demarai Gray has, started. I don't think, did he start Demarai Gray the last time? But bring on Demarai Gray. Start Cephas. Let's see if we can get something out of Cephas. You know what I mean? Because he played well in the World Cup qualifiers. Let's give him a chance. I would go with Kahim Dixon up front. Play Kahim Dixon and Antonio. That's what I would do because I think Antonio is the only man that has scored this Copa America. So I would keep him. Go with Ronaldo Cephas go with Antonio and Kahim Dixon, and if anything, you can bring on Boza later. And Boza is a quality player. He's done well for Jamaica. Hasn't scored this tournament, but he has done well for Jamaica. It's not a slight against Shamar Nicholson, but it's just that Kahim Dixon offers something different than Boza. You know what I mean? So if you have a Mikel Antonio that kind of does the same thing that Shamar Nicholson does, plus a Kahim Dixon that does something different than both of those players, then I think that, so I would go with, I hope the coach go with Mikel Antonio and Kahim Dixon up front. Then I would love to see Ronaldo Cephas in place of Demarai Gray. And that's just because the tournament is over. It's not because I think Cephas should be the starter over Gray permanently, but I think given the context of the tournament, let's see what Cephas can do. I would love to see Karai Anderson in midfield. If you want to go play a defensive midfielder with him, you could go Karai Anderson, Casey Palmer. I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with that. I mean, Casey Palmer, I think is good defensively and offensively. So you could go Karai, Casey. I wouldn't have a problem with that. And then on the right wing, I would keep Bobby Reid, on the right wing there. And then I would love to see Wes Harding instead of, I don't know if his the right wing Wes Harding played the left wing, but I would put Wes Harding. I think it's the right wing, so it would be Lembikisa that I would change out and keep Gregory on the left. I would go with Ethan Pinnock and Deshaun Bernard. He never started Deshaun Bernard. Maybe he likes Michael Hector a little bit more, which I don't really have a problem with Hector that much. But I personally think Bernard would be the starter for me. I didn't see any problems that Bernard had the last time. Maybe the coaching staff saw that, but I didn't. So I would go with Bernard and Ethan Pinnock in the back, and then I mean you can go with Jamali Wade, or maybe since the tournament is over, give Kanaya Boyce Clark, a run. So if you ask me, I would go Kanaya Boyce Clark, Deshaun Bernard and Ethan Pinnock in center of defense, Greg Lee on the left wing, Wes Harding on the right wing, Greg Lee left back, and Wes Harding right back, Ronaldo Cephas left wing, Bobby Reid right wing. I would have Karai Anderson and Casey Palmer in the middle, and then I would have Mikel Antonio and Kaheem Dixon up front. That's the team I would start, because at least you would have something more in midfield. I think Karai and Casey can give you something more in midfield, and Casey plays a little defensive midfield as well. And you have two great defenders in Ethan Pinnock and Deshaun Bernard. In my opinion, if the coach is not comfortable with Bernard, he could go Ethan Pinnock Hector, but I personally would like to see Ethan Pinnock Bernard. So yeah, I am hoping that is what happens for the final game. Copa America was always going to be tough, so I am not crying over Jamaica's performance so much. It was always going to be a tough, thing against the CONMEBOL opposition. But I want to say for the coach, I think the coach needs to learn how to make changes earlier in the game, and maybe stop being a little bit reactionary. It seems like he's more reacting than being proactive. It didn't seem, again, in the first game, it didn't seem like a defensive change was needed. But mentality-wise, again, in the second game in Ecuador, it seemed like the plan was to just hang back a little bit and see what happens, feel out the game a little bit, and then go out, maybe try and get a goal. That approach never worked because you found yourself under 2-0 by the end of the first half. And then the second half, he came out and started playing like a team. Started playing like how we didn't even know that Jamaica can play like that. So I would love to see if Jamaica can start the first half of the game the way they ended the game again, the way they played the second half against Ecuador. Now, if that means them starting the same team, fine. But I would love to see some other players being given a chance. And so I hope that is what happens. In any event, I wish the Reggae Boys all the best. I hope they beat Venezuela, and we can at least leave the Copa America with a win. It's going to be hard because Venezuela is already through to the second round, or to the quarterfinals. Jamaica is out. Mexico is, in terms of CONCACAF teams, they could be out too if they're not able to beat who is it, Ecuador in their last game. They could find themselves out too. The US lost to Panama last night, shocking result. So the US, if they can't beat or if they lose to Uruguay, they're essentially out of the tournament too. So it's not looking good for the CONCACAF teams so far, but we shall see. In any event, I'm going to leave it there, everyone. Please hit the like button on your way out. And if you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. And until next time, take care of yourself. Walk good. I'm out.